Hey everybody, True on Two. The question is why? Why us?
Yeah.
How'd this thing come about? We're going to try to answer a few of those questions for you today. It really grew out of a passion that we have for the industry to tell stories about true people on two wheels. And so as we did that, we went around, we kept hearing these stories, kept hearing these things. We'd show up at places and it's like, man, we should have recorded that. Man, that was epic.
It happened all the time.
Yeah, we talked to Mike Corbin. We had 6 guys there. We were headed to Sonoma to the race, and Corbin fed us cheeseburgers, and you guys all got up and went, wow, that was epic. It was almost like Mike Corbin was handing the torch to you, Brian, for like, what's next in the industry, and we should have filmed it. And I'm like, yeah, we didn't. So we're going to try not to do that. It's never going to be studio perfect. No. It's always going to be guerrilla. You did one with Jeremy at LC Fab.
I did.
Yep.
You did one with Mickey Cohen in the Toter Home, and Mickey's already asking for you to come to San Diego and do another one, or go down to Orange County. I guess it would be, not San Diego. Sorry.
Yeah, not San Diego. Yeah, it's kind of our first one. I think was actually with Dexter on the Salt Flats.
Yeah.
And we had like no sound, no microphones, no nothing.
Terrible audio.
And we just made do with what we could. We just seized the moment. Yeah. And I think that's even like our first post on True on Two's Instagram was like, here, and that's how we got it all started.
Yeah. And so we kind of messed around. We kept putting it off. We kept thinking about, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. So you may see some archive footage that we had. And more importantly, we'd love for you to comment below on who you think would be great to hear from on True on Two. Yeah. Everybody, in my opinion, has a story. That story can be told in, half an hour, 20 minutes or less, right? Yep. We're trying to make these super easy for you to gobble, just listening to a podcast while you're working on something, or a video cast if you really want to see our ugly mugs, or more importantly, the backstory of what we have. We now have Jesse editing these things, and it's only going to get better, because while we're talking about it, we can flash to clips of, us being on the Salt in 2021, like you were just talking about, or, you being at Jeremy Cups, right? What, Shelton, tell me how this has evolved for you. You've been at Klockworks for how many years now?
A little over 5 years. And for the 5 years, you've been talking about True on Two and how
it's a lot. I feel like that's just a slap in the face.
But now I feel like we
actually off the edge.
Are actually at the place where it's a lot easier for us to do it, because instead of me trying to do all the video and recording and editing and stuff, having Jesse here to help with that, and Jacob, it just helps divide the workload.
Yeah.
So now we can actually sit down and record the conversation and then get it out to you guys. So
what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? You were having late nights or what?
I was, dude. A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
And we all wear many hats here. Can I borrow that?
It also sucks just because, like, if you're the one having the conversation and then you're sitting down trying to edit it, like, you already know what you're talking about and you don't want to leave anything out. But as, like, Jesse is someone that hasn't heard the stories and doesn't actually, like, know the people, he can, like, well, this is irrelevant, so I cut that out and actually just keep the important stuff and make it flow better.
Yeah, good point. I love that. How about you, for you, Vanessa? Where are you at? I know you're going to say now 10 years I've been talking about it. Might as well double his number.
It's been a while. I'm just kidding. No, it's definitely evolved. I mean, like I said, our first one was on the Salt, and then we had another friend of ours, Oliver, who helped with 2 other guys. And then I think our next really guerrilla one was when we were in Tennessee, sitting on the porch, which you guys haven't seen yet, but is coming. And that was an awesome one too. And we were so excited to put it out, but there were some things that might have been controversial, and we didn't want to upset the apple cart. And so we just decided, you know what, let's just put that in the can for now, and we'll release it later, so that everything has kind of calmed down, and because we didn't really know the dynamics of that. But I think it's just evolved. Obviously, it's gone well. I think we run into so many situations, like even being on the Kyle Petty ride. We had so many situations where like, oh, we should just do it right now. And it's like, well, we don't have the mics, and we don't have this, and we don't have that. And I'm definitely the person who tries not to carry a big purse unless I'm bringing my laptop with me. And so it was one of those moments where I was like, why do I not have my purse? And why am I not carrying around a camera? So I think it's just gotten, it's changed so much, just from us wanting to just use a phone to like, now let's actually try to be a little bit more professional for it. but it's fun. I think to your point, it'll continue to evolve. But I think the best part about it is that it is guerrilla, and that there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah, and the beauty of it is, I mean, the story can just all of a sudden happen. It could be somebody coming by here on their way to wherever. They got off at exit 332 and they came 6 blocks off the interstate into Klock and went, "Hi, I'm here." And you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute. Like, I didn't expect you to be here. Like, we need to talk about this, I'm super excited to go to Spencer, Iowa and talk to the Gilmore boys. Those guys have done so much as Iowa hog farmers, as they joke around about it, yet they've affected the Sturgis Hall of Fame. They've affected the motorcycle industry. They've affected people's spirituality. They've affected drag racing. And their son, raced in Supercross. And so it's like, wow, that's a lot of motorcycle stuff, right?
Yeah.
From a hog farmer.
Yeah, from a hog farmer, and I want to go see Matt Waxler. Dale was one of my superheroes, and there's so many stories there. And Matt has done so much. Like, I felt so bad.
Share the love today. Share the love today.
I didn't even notice. So how funny is that? But I mean, I felt so bad taking you there for an hour and 15 minutes on the Kyle Petty ride.
Yeah,
it's not even fair.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. Not the museum. It was disappointing the amount of time we had, because you said, well, you could do it on 3 days, or like maybe.
Yeah.
And we got in there and I was like, okay, if I really want to read this, like, we have to come back.
Yeah.
And we have reasons to go back.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
So we want to do that. Scott Jacobs, first ever licensed Harley artist out in the Black Hills, right?
How did that come about?
Exactly. Who doesn't want to know that answer, right? Who wants to know the stories, and where is it taking him, and what are places and people that he's met that he just didn't expect, And I mean, he's quite an accomplished musician in and of himself. He's putting on that incredible series out in Deadwood. He's played with some of the greats, Who are some people you guys are thinking of, just off the top of your head? Anybody?
We got to meet them. Well, I got to meet him at on the Kyle Petty ride was Corky Coker.
Yeah, wow.
That one, for me, I'm excited for that. I mean, I was
trying to get
him on the spot. I was like, do you think we could do this? Like, when? I wanted to be like, now would be great. But
yeah, he had to go
20 minutes.
He had to go leave and join Jay Leno or something on an auction.
Yeah, at an auction.
So just the fact that we have access to that level of people, and that we can, I was super stoked about that. That was a good ask.
There's definitely a lot of people. I'm going to look like dumb in the camera because I'm trying to think, like, rack my brain on all the people, like, who do we have? Because obviously I know that.
Okay, tell me the guy. Okay, tell me the push-pull guy from Trike World.
Are you talking about DA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Daryl Andrews.
There you
right?
go.
So that would be fun.
I mean,
this guy, he literally told me, I'm telling you, don't lean. First time riding a trike, don't lean. You won't go anywhere. You have to actually push-pull. And so as I'm making, and because you watched me, but I go into my first turn, like coming out of the parking lot, no big deal. I got this. Go to get on the interstate. Don't got this. So
it was crazy. I mean, this guy got sick. We go by, we see him, and his name is Bill Tunnell. He's from Central California area. He's a teacher, something to do with schools. Anyway, he's riding this trike. He rode a normal bike, but he had a leg injury or something. They said, "I'll just take your trike." So he takes the trike. He gets sick. He's on the side of the road throwing up. He gets there. He's white as a ghost. And
so sad.
We're trying to figure out how to load up this bike, but so many other people had gotten sick too. And so then nobody knew what was going on. Nowhere for to put the trike. And they looked at Vanessa.
Vanessa's like, I'll do it.
Kevin came up to me. He's like, hey, can you ride his trike? And I was like, sure.
So first time ever riding a bagger, 2017 Kyle Petty ride.
Yep.
For Cindy Hefner.
Like actually riding it further than a block.
Yeah, and she got injured, so she needed somebody to ride it. Didn't want to load it up either. This guy's sick, doesn't want to load up his trike. Vanessa jumps into the trike world. No joke. First few turns, push, pull. She's got it, no problem. And then all of a sudden, we're headed to the on-ramp. She's turning down the on-ramp. And all of a sudden, she goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm hearing this in the comm, and I am laughing because she takes it plenty wide. Didn't go into the ditch, but take it plenty wide. Thank God it was an on-ramp. There was no oncoming traffic. She would have never made it.
Oh,
it was awesome. But DA, I mean, you sit there, talk to that guy. He's been a super trucker. He runs like a 600 or 675 horsepower cab over.
Oh, it's sweet.
It is a sick
That's a lot
truck,
for a
right?
cab
You
owner.
got to look up his YouTube.
And
because
then
it was
he's already
sweet.
been on YouTube, done a bunch of stuff. He has tons and tons of NASCAR stories, right? And they go back to the Smokey Yunick days when, the gas filler was supposed to be this big and his was this big so they could cheat, right?
Yep.
Or they'd route it around the, car to fill it up with gas. And he has so many great stories like that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't cheating because there really was no rules for it.
It was a gray area.
It was
And
just
gray
creative
areas
racing.
aren't cheating.
Right.
Yeah, he would be great.
Another great guy. I mean, he's a veteran. He's got tons of stories. Just super interesting cat. Apparently comes every Sturgis every year with Kelderman, so we may have to try to
Perfect.
have him swing
Well,
by.
Kelderman would be a great one too, because Kelderman's been participating just in that ride. What, 20 years? They
over
said?
20 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible,
Yeah.
right?
So there's definitely lots there, and I mean, there's lots of that's the hardest part is there's so many people, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a pick and choose. It's just a matter of like who's available right now, and like who do people want to see right now.
Yeah, and so I mean, there was a regular guy. He's not a regular guy at all. They introduced me to him. He's President Trump's personal pilot since the 80s.
Yeah.
Hello.
That's crazy.
So awesome.
Yeah, I mean, say what you want about Trump, whether you love him or hate him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being around that cat for 20, 30 years?
Oh, make it better. Double it up, and maybe you put his wife in there too, because she was the flight attendant.
Yeah, unbelievable the things they've
Wild.
seen and the meetings, they've had in the air, right?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Super cool. I just think there's so many even regular guys, and I say that with a grain of salt, because Frank Cabal and Jim Kopensky, who we had dinner with, are not regular guys. They both have traveled around the world, worked all over the place, worked in the crazy third world countries to helping with, the new Hard Rock Hotel in Vegas.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Frank's wife is a
And I'm like,
Indian princess.
I'm like,
And like legit Indian princess, and it's awesome.
yeah. So I mean, so many great stories about regular people, and yet just the regular people. Everybody's got a good story. Like that's the best of it.
So that's the thing about like two wheels is it's that common ground where it could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be a mechanic, he could be an oil field worker or President Trump's pilot. Like you don't know, and just stopping to take the time to talk to that person.
Agreed. And I think you're on a motorcycle, you go to a gas station, somebody makes a comment to you, they're your friend for 10, 15 minutes.
Yep.
They're just making a connection. And maybe that guy had a bike, right? And maybe that guy just happens to be the president of General Mills.
Yep.
But his wife forbid him to have a motorcycle after they got, out of college or whatever.
Yep.
He had kids. He went on to be the president of this great company. But there's a tie to motorcycles. And he just seeing you on your bike goes, hey, wait a minute. I had a bike, man. I wish I would have. I kind of wish I still rode a bike, right? And so those sort of great stories too. So it doesn't matter if you're a speedway racer, you're a hill climber, you're riding, racing MotoGP, or you're just a regular guy riding a metric bike or an American V twin. We want to hear your story. So if you think you've got a story, please put it in the comments below. If you've got people that you want to hear from, we want to hear from them.
I just thought of a really good one.
Okay.
Andy Anderson.
Oh, man. That guy.
Remember when I was on a big green bike and then the race bike?
And what's so funny is we just talked about Andy Anderson this past weekend with Paul Whitmore. Paul Whitmore had the original Cherry Bomb shirt.
Nice.
Wow.
And he goes, but I also have the Andy Anderson version. Well, Andy was making T-shirts for everybody from Garth Brooks to Metallica and had this gigantic, he was a custom bike builder in the 70s, right?
Wow.
He still had his custom bike garage area below T-shirt World in Nashville, right?
Cool, yeah.
And when the T-shirt presses would go, I don't even know how many shirts they could print at a time, but it felt like 50. And the thing goes around and goes, ka-kong, ka-kong, ka-kong. And it's down there pressing shirts, and it's shaking the whole concrete floor above his shop.
That's a lot of screen printing.
It was nuts, right?
Yeah. Like, imagine you're printing for concerts that are that night, or so-and-so, whatever team won. You're the contract.
Yeah, but he saw that Cherry Bomb shirt, right? And he goes, man, that's cool. And it's that exact picture. It's up on my wall, which you all can't see, but maybe we'll throw it in for B-roll. And the picture itself has like a ton of trees and reflections in the tank. In the first shirt, that wasn't in there.
Mm-hmm.
In Andy's shirt, it was all in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
And it was amazing. Like, I'm like, it's so cool that he could do it. How about Jess?
Well, of course, Jess.
Yeah, Jess
and
has
Russ.
to be on.
That'd be fun.
I mean, Jess rips, and her husband, Russ, I mean, she's on day 5, right? Or 6?
She's on day 6. She finishes her
Today's the last day?
Yeah, today's the last day. So she finishes her ride today. That's a big deal.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw, Jess. We want to have you on the show.
Yep.
Yeah.
We want to talk about what it takes to try to ride 48 states in 6 days.
Starvation.
And then
is one of them.
Yeah, that was one of the things. Yeah, you ran into her in Sioux Falls, right?
Fast.
Shelton and I were both out of town this weekend.
Yeah, so. Shout out to Denise over at Bread and Vine, because Jess told me, said, is there anything you need? She asked for a hair tie and breakfast, essentially. She's like, I just want cheesy, she said cheesy eggs and bacon and some gluten-free toast. And I was like, oh, I got this in the can.
Yeah.
And I
breakfast sandwich from Bread and Vine.
Yep. I immediately called over, and they weren't even open yet, but they took the call. I talked to Denise. Denise made sure like it happened. And
that's awesome.
Jess was super stoked because it literally was every single thing she asked for, you know. And now it's funny, her rain suit took a shit on the way wherever she was driving through. I can't remember now at that time, but I just decided, hey, I'm going to bring this rain jacket, because I could have sworn I heard it. Like if you were just like watching it, you would have missed it. And so I heard her say it, and I grabbed a jacket, and now she's wearing it, and you know, so it worked out perfect because she's warm at least, and she was riding through Flagstaff last night. They were talking about it was like 40 degrees. So
oh wow,
hopefully that it obviously kept her warm because she made it. And
nice.
So now we're just waiting. I'm due for my several hour checkup now to be like, hey, where you at? And find out what's going on. So she's got a couple people riding with her now, which is great.
At some point we're going to do true on 2 stories on each one of us, right? Whether you like it or not.
Oh, sure. Because I love talking about myself.
I know, but I mean, but the thing is, that's the deal. You got to dive into it. You got to understand like what happens, what makes you tick, where did it come from, that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Shelton, you were just at the 2-bit show in Utah, right?
Yeah.
Who there would you like to talk to?
I feel like one of the most underrated people that hasn't told their story is Dump Truck.
Yeah.
Like Dump Truck is a great dude, but he's always the one talking and hyping up other people. To get Dump Truck story would be cool. I was talking to a guy that won Best Metric for the bike show. Very briefly, like I learned that this was his first ever bike. It was a Virago that he built when he was laid off.
Wait. You bonded over Virago.
Viragos.
Yeah.
Okay, now we know.
Are you going to finish yours now?
Virago lovers, comment below.
So I was talking to him, and he bought the bike and then got laid off from his graphic design job or whatever, and wrecked the bike and then had to fix it and just finished it for this show. Mm-hmm. And the prize for winning was to be an invited builder for next year, to have his bike up on the pedestal. So I was like, you need to build a new bike.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, I started building one.
Yeah.
And I told him, I gave him business cards, like, shoot me a message on Facebook. I don't know how you'll get it, but if you can come to South Dakota, I will like get mine finished as a frame, and then you can have it and finish that for next year's.
Wow. Oh, no way.
I mean, that's super cool for him, but you literally just passed it off.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be cool, though.
You become a little FXR addict or what?
So I don't have, like, the other idea for that bike would be to let Brantley finish it. Like, I finish the frame and then make him finish the rest of it.
By the way, Shelton likes to make his kid do all kinds of things, like tear apart vehicles and learn to drive out in the fields. And
I think great. I think you should give Brantley that. I don't even know how much.
The 93 Dyna.
Yeah, how much did it cost?
$700.
Yeah, we should just do a story and follow that, and it should be dueling Dynas. Like, this is Dad's and this is the son's, right?
Oh boy,
it's like dueling pianos. You know, you each got one now. You're messing with, because even yours is super weird. Like, what the hell are you doing? You put like a different wheel or tire and front end off of stuff that shouldn't even make sense.
I don't even know if that was a compliment or anything.
I don't know what it is.
Is that like one of those back end
kind of.
Well, he started with the 5-year thing, so I got to volley it back somehow.
So I got a phone call from an old coworker. And he's like, I have this bike. Do you want it? I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
And how much? He's like, I don't know. I'll call you back. So a couple weeks later, he calls me. He's like, hey, do you want to buy this bike? I'm like, what is it and how much? He's like, I'll call you back. So he texts me a picture of the VIN number. And it turns out,
I don't know what it is.
It's a 2000 FX DX.
Oh,
but in the pictures, there's no front end on it. And turns out his son-in-law or whatever had a deer on it. And there's a loan on it. And he's like, I owe $1,000 on the loan. You pay it off. It's yours. I'm like, okay. I pick up the bike. We throw it on the trailer. Like 2 weeks later, he calls me. He's like, hey, I got something for you. And it's like a pristine center fill tank for a FXDX. I'm like, that's $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
And the only stipulation is he wants to see the bike when it's done.
Nice.
But then a friend is like, hey, I have a low rider rest front end. It's like $800. I'm like, that's super cheap that I was going to use for the FXR build.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to put it on this. And then I did.
And now you're doing some of the back end, though. Tell me about, like,
so.
I mean, we're down to millimeters of, like, you're trying to stuff everything you can into this.
I think that's bad.
I was going to say, I'm like, this surprises
I think it's less
you?
than millimeters. So the
like,
swing arm was bent.
Every time I go, there's a different wheel in the back of it.
And I put the 180 rear tire on from the low rider S.
Oh,
so it's
gotcha.
an 08 swing arm. And actually, like 2 weeks ago, I just spaced out the front sprocket 60 thousandths of an inch to try to gain that clearance. So I think 60 thousandths is less than millimeters, but we're down to thousandths of an inch.
Did you create a spacer for that?
I 3D printed one, and then I ordered some steel shims.
Nice.
But yeah.
See,
Well, we're all guilty, right? We all have these stories that we don't talk about, things that should come out, things that should be shared. I ran into a little bit of a problem at Wheels Through Time.
Did you now?
I
have the video. You know what? We should totally put that on there.
No.
Oh, yeah,
So-
for sure.
so
I got the whole story in Brian Theatrics. It was
Just
great.
drop it in right here.
Yeah. So we were riding across the lawn trying to get to our parking spot because we were riding in the back of the Kyle Petty pack, and there's all these 150 bikes. And so it's kind of bumpy, you know, and I'm laughing. And I told Vanessa, I said, oh, this is nothing. I've ridden way rougher across this lawn in the past. And she looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, she said, what are you talking about?
I told you about that story.
I said, I told you that story. I rode Leap and Lena across this parking lot. There's a picture hanging in our hallway of me and Roland Sands. And, you know, this guy was a dealer in St. Louis, right? Carl Donaldson and Dale Wachsler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she was, I know the picture, but I've never heard this story. I said,
Mind you, I've heard every story several times over
thanks,
the last
honey.
decade.
I appreciate that.
And it's not a bad thing, but like I would know if I've heard the story.
So
I've heard the story.
I was almost as appalled as she was. I couldn't believe I hadn't told her this story. So we went right in the museum, and there's so many people in the entryway. We walked all the way to the back door where the inevitable happened with Carl Donaldson himself. And he looks down and he goes, wow, I'll be damned if that's not Leap and Lena. It looks like Lena to me.
Wait,
I'm
you
like,
can't tell the story right now. I have the recording and it's so good.
Okay. We'll insert it somewhere here and you'll hear it. But that's what happens, right? Like you go through life, you forget to record these things. It doesn't really play out that well in print media because it's better to hear the story. It's better to have it enunciated, right?
Yeah.
And so even if I typed it on a computer, it's not going to have the same effect, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we want to do. It's what we hope to do at Truon too. I wasn't paying attention to the time schedule. I have no idea what time it is.
Half past monkey's ass. I'm just
It's a
kidding.
nice
Okay.
watch.
Well, thank you. I got it as a, well, we won't talk about that today. It's 4:20. I'm just
Okay.
kidding. It's 4:05.
Nice.
I was just waiting for the smart ass comment, but yeah.
You know, so bottom line is, I mean, we want to try do this in bite-sized pieces. We've already been shocked, honestly, at the support we're getting.
Yeah.
So we need you to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel would be great. We always put out shorts. Maybe there'll be just one little piece here and one little other nugget of information here, one other little bit of knowledge we want to share here. And that'll be always on Instagram and Facebook. And the goal is, in case you missed it, or in case you want to see it, or in case it's the reminder that, hey, I can gobble up 20 minutes of information here, I'm going to put it on my podcast as I'm driving down the road, or I'm on my motorcycle in my car or whatever. And that's our goal with it, okay? Anybody else you want to put on that you're thinking about? Because, see, if we call them out here, there's a better chance that they have to do it.
Well, I would love for Ross to do it.
I was gonna say Ross earlier.
Oh, no
I figured
way.
that's a hand me. Like we can get him to
Yeah,
do
we
it.
can get him to do it, but it's just
It's a good friend of ours, Ross, Kathy. He's riding across the country right now. He's probably headed toward New York somewhere, but he's riding a CVO RR. That's a $120,000 to a lot of people, collectible race bike that Harley came out with in 2025. They only made 131 of them. He's riding number 112. He's on Instagram as Nomad RR112. And he's probably got 20.
It's over easily. Yeah,
now.
it's probably 27,000 now because it was 25,000 when we were in the KPR.
Yeah,
KPCR.
so great. Like he's not leaving that bike sit. He's using it.
No, and you know what's a good one which we just put out was the Miracle Riders.
Oh yeah.
Cool. That would be great because there's obviously a lot of those guys involved, but that was even interesting to see how Ross, like they went down that way and then they're coming back and Ross finds out about it and decides, screw it, I'm just going to jump on my bike. I'm going to go with him. Well, you're riding all the way to Georgia? We'll see where I go.
Yeah.
And I mean, have you talked to him in the last 3 days?
I texted with him and he said, I'll probably break off in New York when they head back down to Georgia. He's thinking about going up to Michigan, to the top of Michigan, up by Lake Traverse City, Traverse City where we're at, and going across the Mackinac Bridge, and then coming back down to Milwaukee to the museum, and then maybe coming home.
Home is in South
Dakota right now.
After the KPR, I think he slept in his bed one night and then he left again.
Yeah,
we've officially abbreviated the KPCR. KPR.
My cousin Mike, I would love to have him
That
on.
would be good.
He's guy who didn't start out with a motorcycle, and I dumped one in his garage, and now he's riding across the country all over the place, and he loves nothing more than meeting up with somebody in some little town diner somewhere.
Let's see. You can also get the Goo and Roji. Those would be fun because a lot of people know them, but they don't really do a whole.
Yeah, and you never understand what's the backstory behind it. Like, how'd they get into motorcycles? What did they do? What do they do outside of motorcycles? What is their real job, right?
I think Rob Roll would be a good one. Christian Sosa, and then to throw in one out of left field is Miss Jessie Jazz talking about MMA fighting and stuff.
Yeah, true. Good point.
Cody Breedlove?
We have,
Cody Breedlove? Doesn't he ride?
Cody No Love?
No Love, Jesus Christ.
I could get Cody No Love on.
Yeah. In fact,
where did I get Breedlove?
I don't know.
He's just breeding love all the time.
So after the photo shoot in Arizona, I was following Raven, and a dude rolls up on an FXR next to me. He's like screaming, "Nice bike!" No idea who it is.
Did you tell him, "Hey, I read that book"?
Yeah, essentially. Like 2 weeks later, Cody No Love messages me. He's like, "Hey, I was screaming at you at a stoplight in Arizona, but I figured you didn't know it was me." It's like, I wish I would have because I would have followed you.
Yeah, his real name's like Gallbrand or something like that.
Garbrand.
Garbrand. There you go. Okay.
Yep.
So,
well, there's that. Well,
all good.
Mark Scharnbrock, that's what you were just saying.
Yeah, Mark Scharnbrock, nice bike. The book, Nice Bike. That's a big thing for us. I wish Daniel would do it, but we'd probably have to black out his face or something.
We can do that. He can just be like a black.
Be the Daniel Whip guy.
Like
this guy's got 600,000 miles on his FXR.
More than 600,000.
And he's owned it like since '89. The I was thinking of a couple other people that are in the Black Hills, that I'd love to talk to. One of them is Woody from the Buffalo Chip. I think a lot of people know the Buffalo Chip, but they don't really know how it started. They don't know the backstory to it. I'd love to get that from him. And then the other one is Marilyn Stemp. She has a great story. Like she has done so much in motorcycling. Yeah. She'd be like 3 episodes though, probably.
Yeah, how do you get? Okay. That's the only thing is like, how do you get these to just 20 minutes? Like that's hard. Like, look, we're over 20 minutes.
I think.
Sorry,
like
then cut us off.
But that's what I mean. It's like they have to be like you have the full episode, but then there's chunks.
Okay,
because there's a lot of good stuff.
We want to hear. I'll sign off now.
I'm just saying.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
Before that, should we also put these on Spotify and Apple Music?
Yeah, let us know where you gobble up your podcasts at. Put it in the comments below.
Dude, podcasts are great for when you're driving.
Yeah,
they
100%.
14 hours pass super fast.
Yeah. So there you go. Check out the next episode of True on 2, and we will hope to bring you all your favorites. You got to just tell us who you want to see and who you want to hear from, and we're going to try to get them.
I want to hear from you.
What do you want to hear from me?
Oh, I have heard some. I've heard a lot from you. I think the people should know. I think a lot of people don't know.
Motomark. There's another one. That's the other one I want to do.
A good one.
So,
well, the list goes on. So, help us round it out.
All right. Yep. See you on the next episode. Ready?
Oh, what are we doing?
Of True
on 2.